We take one more significant mantra from the Upanishads. Under this series, Know the Upanishads, this being class 11 on this September 26, 2025. In Kenopanishad, we have a revelation. Please note that Upanishads do use tarka, some logic, and they do give a place of honor to personal experience, but the teaching of the Upanishads is much based on Shruti Pramana. Shruti is the Vedas, and the Vedic statements reveal a certain truth. And we go by that truth conveyed by the Upanishads, and by reflecting upon it, by bringing in appropriate logic also, by bringing in appropriate personal experience also, we can arrive at that aha moment where the truth of the Upanishads becomes our own realization. Therefore, it is said in the Vedanta tradition that by mere logic we cannot come upon truth. That applies to by mere experience. Therefore, the Shastra lays great importance on Shabda Pramana. Shabda Pramana means a certain statement from the Vedanta being the authority. And where is then the place of Tarka? It is important that we reflect upon what is said and ensure that it is not something illogical. At a certain place, Sri Shankaracharya says, even if 1,000 Veda mantras say fire is cold, we are not to accept those statements. Those statements may have some hidden meaning. They may mean something else than literally calling fire cold. If a Veda mantra says fire is cold, since it simply defies all logic, all experience, we do not go by that meaning. Therefore, the Vedanta study primarily is to follow a certain divine revelation from the Vedas. And then we find that it is not illogical, it can very much be so. And then in the Vedanta, what is most wonderful is we find that we don't have to seek some extraordinary, extrasensory, some out of the way experience. We can see that our own existence, of which we are convinced, nobody doubts one's own existence. I don't go to a dark room and say, I don't see anything here. I doubt whether I am here in this room. My own existence is a different kind of experience. It's not a sensory experience. When you see a red flower, your eyes see the red color. When you notice a certain smell, your nose confirms, certifies a particular smell. Same way the ears say, this is the kind of song I had heard before. So the tongue does, so the skin does. Likewise, the mind and intellect also have very many experiences, but the Vedanta talks about the experience of being and says, be stationed, be anchored in what you are already experienced. Therefore, there is an expression used by great wise people, Anubhava Gamya Vedanta. Vedanta that is to be reached through experience. But it is not the Samadhi experience or something so blissful that it comes and goes. This experience is the experience you have already, but it is mixed up. At this moment, it is mixed. It's mixed with many other notions and holding on to the primary experience, aham asmi, I am, I exist, we can see the falsity of 1,000 ideas which the mind creates about who we are by dismissing them by virtue of holding on, holding firmly, staying firmly in the primary experience of I am, realization becomes ours. Therefore, Vedanta is very unique. It has a place for Anubhava, but it is not Aindriya Anubhava, Bhavanatmaka Anubhava, Bauddhika Anubhava. It is the most fundamental Anubhava that you have, whether there is mind operating or not, Buddhi operating or not. This Aham Asmi, I am, without English, Hindi, Sanskrit, or any word, I am. That is present in deep sleep also, where there is no name, no form, no sound, no touch, no color, no taste, no smell, no sorrow, no caused elation. There is bliss which is uncaused in deep sleep. Therefore, there is a view that in deep sleep we are one with the pure self. There is no need to talk about some vasanas are sitting over there and so on. That is considered a view very much influenced by an undue amount of attachment to the waking state. We'll not go into that debate, but what we shall see in this session, session 11 in the series of Know the Upanishads, is how lot of places, but in this session we'll see how Kenopanishad in the first two mantras points out the truth of our existence behind the perishable personality. And the mantra we are referring more specifically is mantra number 2 of the very first section, where it is said, Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Manoyat. We'll see that mantra later. There is the ear of the ear, and we will quote Sri Shankaracharya's commentary in a single line, what it means when it is said ear of the ear. It's not another ear, a miniature ear, a replica of the outer ear. No, that's childish to imagine like that. But the expression ear of the ear is a certain truth, certain power, certain intelligence, certain consciousness, without which the ears cannot hear. So we go to the next slide in this So we have, before we really enter the mantras, something wonderful to share with you. It is in this Upanishad, and I guess in one or two other places also, Shankaracharya makes a powerful statement. Though the name of the student and the teacher are not given in Kenopanishad, it is obvious that the first mantra is a question on the part of a student, and after that, it is the answers by the teacher. Though in between, once more, the student is made to speak. Then towards the end also, another student in a group of students speaks something. So except for two or three places, it's the Guru who is making fabulous revelations. Shankaracharya refers to a very mature student approaching his or her teacher. In what spirit? What is the state of mind of such a student? That's where in red letters I have put from the Bhashya on the first mantra of the first khanda. The whole thing goes Shruti Smriti Niyamacha. By studying some amount of Vedas, by hearing some Smriti Vakyas here and there, and by engaging, employing certain logic, the student realizes that nothing in the world can give him true happiness. Everything is fraught with fear. There's a humorous story of Mullah Nasruddin who was sitting on a platform in a busy market and he had a whole big heap of green chilies. And people saw him picking one green chili at a time, tasting it and throwing it. Takes a second green chili, throws it. Takes a third one, tastes it and throws it. Then somebody from the crowd came and said, Nasruddin, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Nasruddin said, don't disturb me. In this heap, very huge heap of green chili, I am looking for one piece of green chili which which is sweet. The person who asked the question and a few others standing behind him all laughed. They laughed. Nasruddin, don't be so stupid. Can there be a green chili which is sweet in this world? Nasruddin gets up and says to them, I must now laugh at all of you. Some of you are after wealth, some of you are after sense pleasures, some of you are after name, some of you are after fame. Children are after toys, some others are after dolls, some others are after foreign travel, some others are after getting their name on the media. Looking for what? Looking for happiness. There is no happiness in any of those. But people spend a whole life till the last breath pursuing something for happiness. Therefore, the state of mind of a disciple who is truly ready for self realization is described Vidivat Brahmanishtam Upetya Pratyagatma Vishayad Anyatra Pratyagatma Vishayad Anyatra Sharanam Apashyan. If Nasruddin were to get up and say, I'm not going to pick any single green chili anymore. I'm walking away from this heap of green chilies where another few hundreds remain. I'm not going to pick up even one more. For in any of them, there is no Sharana. Sharana is refuge. Sharana here is something that truly answers your need. Your need is lasting happiness, lasting security, lasting fearlessness. I want to end my sorrow. I want to end my fear for good, never to get it again. And that is possible only in Pratyagatma Vishaya. Pratyagatma Vishayad Anyatra Sharanam na bhavati. Pratyagatma Vishayad Anyatra Sharanam apashyan. His intelligence, maturity makes him see, or makes him see, or makes him not see any possibility. Apashyan means not see. He doesn't see anymore even an iota of possibility in anything else. Then what does he want? Abhayam, Nityam, Shivam, Achalam, Icchan, wanting it, comes to Guru, Papracha, and asks. And that is the first mantra. Shankaracharya grabs this opportunity to say, please read Kene Shitam Ityadi, the first mantra itself, Kene Shitam Ityadi, mantra are with this kind of background. Ask yourself, are you one like that? Have you become very clear by giving thousands of pravachans which will be attended by thousands of people? I am not going to be free. Nayamatma pravachanena labhya. By mastering all the books, medhaya. Nayamatma pravachanena labhya na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaisha brunute. Yaha atmanameva brunute. Whoever goes for Atma only. Because Atma Vishayad Anyatra Sharanam na vidyate. Iti kalpyate. This is how one has to visualize. Says Sri Shankara, this Atma Vishayad Anyatra Sharanam apashyan na pashyan is a wonderful comment by Sri Shankaracharya. Now we take the first mantra. The first mantra says, what is behind mind? See, Kene Shitam Mana. Here, Ishitam in modern Sanskrit is Ishtam. Ishita means Ishtam, or Ishitam is Ishtam, Ishita is Ishta, desired. Or what desires, what directs the mind in a certain way. Kena prana pratama praiti yuktaha. Breath or vital energies of many kinds. Speech, vacham, vacham kena ishitam vadanti. Chakshuhu, the eyes, Shushrotram, the ears. The disciple is so mature, he has somewhat figured out that we are caught in a vicious circle. Because we invest in the personality, the world gives us bits and pieces of happiness. Because the world gives us bits and pieces of happiness, small bouts of celebration, we further identify with body and mind. The body and mind is one side of the trap, and the sense objects are the other side of the trap. We go from one to the other and from that to back to one. This is a vicious circle. You need to break both of them. Break doesn't mean literally commit suicide or take a pistol and aim it at your head. That can only eliminate the physical body, which is not much. It is your subtle body which needs a special operation. And that operation can be possible only through Vedanta study. Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha, kena prana pratama praiti yuktaha, keneshitam vachamimam vadanti, chakshushrotram kau devo yunatti. The fourth line right away shows that the disciple has a certain idea. Maybe he has heard from other teachers, other eminent people, but he is not too sure what exactly it is. But he calls it Devaha. Devaha, Bhashya says, Dyotanavam, that which is shining. In a certain parallel, what makes the windmills rotate, revolve, move? It's the air. But in the phenomenal world, what makes air to move? Something else, some pressure difference. What causes the pressure difference? Why isn't the pressure the same everywhere? Oh, that's because something gets heated over there, and then because of heat, the molecules spread or molecules, some other place molecules contract. So then, but why do molecules have to bother about temperature, heat? Then one more. You might have heard how a certain young scientist went to a small town and said, the earth is not supported by some atlas or some animal or some tree or some plant or some strong man. The earth is in space. It rotates and goes around the sun. People of the small town had read some old books, and an old lady got up and said to the young man, young man, don't think we can be fooled so easily. We have all read great books. It is a tortoise. It's a tortoise that is supporting the earth. We have read it. The young man said, what supports the tortoise? And the lady never had thought about that. She pauses for a moment. Then she says to the young man, my dear son, don't think you are so smart. It is tortoises all the way down. The earth is supported by one tortoise, that is supported by another tortoise, that is supported by a third tortoise, that is supported by a fourth tortoise, or tortoise as they pronounce in America, fifth tortoise, sixth tortoise. It's tortoises all the way down. How stupid. Saying it is tortoises all the way down is no better than the first statement, the earth is supported by a tortoise. Therefore, Vedanta shakes hands with physics. In physics, scientists found out that it is not tortoise or it's not a strong man called Atlas or Hercules or somebody. The phenomenal universe has certain mutual relationship between its contents, and there are rules that govern the movement, the changes in those components. Nothing is in its place forever. Nothing remains the same forever. That is the law. Even at an atomic level, things are disintegrating. Even at the cosmic level, things are disintegrating. Some video is doing the rounds. Some lady from Bengal or somewhere, an astrologer, has predicted. Many of you might have got that video already. Who is doing the rounds. She has predicted that in as early as 2027, America is going to disintegrate. Couple of states, at least, if not more, will break free from the union of 50 states. Very convincingly, she makes several predictions. disintegrate. If not in 2 years, as she says, she is given a date. I think July 2027 or so. That's it. America's Union of 50 will break. Didn't we see Russia, USSR breaking many years ago? So many countries have broken. Gandhiji, who apparently stood for Satya, proclaimed India will be divided over my dead body. But when 1947, August 14, Pakistan got independence, on August 15th, India got independence, Gandhiji died. He did not die even January 30 of 1948. He was shot dead by Nathuram Godse. So, the Indian continent, and after some more years, Pakistan broke into two pieces. West Pakistan became Pakistan, East Pakistan became Bangladesh. So, at all levels, there are some rules which bring about changes. But the spiritual science says we are not interested in those rise and fall, profit and gain, loss, those success and failure. We take all of them together and we ask a question: is there something that is not involved directly? It's not involved. When something breaks, it doesn't break. When something is put together, it is not put together. Is there something which is independent? And Shankaracharya very firmly says the disciple who had approached the teacher on this fine day was asking for such a truth which is not part of really any duality, neither the director nor the directed, but something in the presence of which it seems the mind is directed. So, without being involved, to make matters easier, sometimes we dramatize. The dancer is waiting, the ministers are waiting, the army general is waiting, the treasurer is waiting, a number of other officers in the royal court are all waiting. The dancer is ready to start her dance, but the king has not come. The king, this is a Vedantic example. The king comes finally, some 10 minutes, 20 minutes late, takes his chair, throne, he sits on the throne, and just to dramatize it a little, we say he lifts his hand. Mm. Either lifts his hand and says, or doesn't even move one finger, but just says, or maybe just makes a facial gesture. The dancer is waiting just for that. She sees that gesture on his face, or she hears that little sound, or she sees the hand gesture, something. But in the case of Atman being the truth behind so much changes, so much movement, in the case of Atman, there is not even the slightest movement on the part of Atman. No sound, no green flag, no red flag to stop the mind, no green flag to go, to say to the mind, go now. On your march, set, go. And in some athletic events, a bullet is fired into the sky. Tom! And all those run, begin their race. There is no bullet here, there is no revolver, there is nothing of that sort. Therefore, please do not pull down Vedanta to your less mature imagination. Lift your imagination to the heights of subtleties, that sukshmata of the Vedanta. Shankaracharya makes a comment. He has that power is other than the body, mind, etc. Dehadi sanghatad anyat. See, second line has the word. Dehadi sangatad anyat. And that dehadi sangata. Sangata is sangha, coming together. Our personality is nothing but a physical body with some five sense organs, five organs of action. Eyes, ears, etc. are sense organs. Hands, feet, etc. are five organs of action. Dhanendriya, Karmendriya, Mana, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara. So it is all of them coming together. Some places it is called a assemblage. All of them put together. And what is put together, whether you like it or not, gets broken. What is assembled gets dissembled. Watch out. Nobody stays forever on this earth. Every day we get news. Oh, she is gone. Oh, he is gone. Did you see it on TV? Did you read the newspaper? Yesterday, Kannada writer, highly regarded for his contributions, S.L. Bhairappa, passed away. Highly regarded by all literary people, but not respected or not taken well by certain political lobbies, or whatever he said was not to their taste in his novels. That's another matter. But Bhairappa was a very towering figure for last 60 years or so. Many of his novels became movies. Many of them have so much detail, so much description, characters there bring tears to the eyes of readers. And he was very knowledgeable. He would study to write a certain book on Kashi, where Muslim rule took place, and how the Mughal emperors ruled, and what is Muslim culture. Today we came to know, because after his death yesterday, today one Muslim lady has written how before writing that novel he requested her. This lady also was a Kannada writer, and he got the permission to come and stay 2 weeks at the residence of Bano Mustaq. And Bano and Mustaq helped Bhairappa to see how they live, to see a mosque how it is, to see their burial ground, to see some of their rituals, to see some of their customs. 2 weeks he made so much of notes. And then he wrote a great work called Avarana that is translated into so many languages. It was, on one hand, very well received, and on the other, it provoked so much anger among Muslims. For they say he depicted Muslims in a very unfavorable way. I don't want to sit in judgment on that, but I'm saying one side says whatever he wrote is totally based on facts. He studied, he did research, he went and met people. And the other side says whether it real or not, he need not have written it. He had a bad intention. He wanted to put Muslims of the country down and so on. So till Congress was ruling, he did not even get Padma Shri. But last year, Modi government gave him Padma Bhushan or Padma Vibhushan, some higher level. And at the age of 94, yesterday he died. So Bhairappa also dies. Some unknown person also dies. Cats, dogs, everyone dies. Body is like that. Anitya. Gita says, Sri Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvama. Arjuna, in your heart of hearts, please know that everything is anitya, impermanent, asukha. It doesn't have happiness. Leave it and in your heart, adore God. Adore God. Therefore, some saints advise us no matter how your day was, good or bad, the last 5 or 10 minutes of the day, maybe you sleep at 9:30 or 10:30 or 11:30 or midnight, doesn't matter. Last 5 or 10 minutes, for heaven's sake, don't think of money or power or pleasure or position, enemies, friends. Instead, remember God. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Go to sleep with God on your tongue. Their advice. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvama. Shankaracharya is very emphatic. Someone who thus sees that true happiness for me is not through this personality. By my becoming famous, my becoming rich, personality, my becoming a successful author, or in the spiritual world also some sadhu dreams of his becoming a very popular guru all over the world. I will go to 6, 7 continents. I will have disciples everywhere. At airport, they will fall at my feet and take me in expensive cars or in whatever way, or maybe mainly scholastical. I will write such a book. All sadhus of the world will read that book. That is my book. Crazy, stupid, foolish. You are not the personality. The one who gets famous, one who earns money is not you. But if you are identified with it, you will have some joy, but more sorrow. So Shankaracharya, see the words, karma karyad virakta. A mature student may do things out of certain sense of role playing. I have to play this role. But inside, deep in her heart, she knows. Karya means effect. The effect of any karma means work, effect of work. No effect of any work, small or big, can truly give me the kind of happiness I seek. Therefore, detached from karma and karma phala on one hand, and detached from deha, the sangata on the other, what does he want to know? Anya, something other than all this. Kutastam, at the anvil, being the anvil on anvil is that strong stone, keeping gold on it. They hammer the gold, turn it into different shapes. The anvil itself does not change even a bit. The gold may become a plate, and that plate then may become some cylindrical or conical or various shapes. To turn gold into various shapes, the gold or silver or anything else, it is placed on an anvil and beaten. The anvil doesn't change. Kuta is anvil. Kute tishtati iti kutastam. Kutavat tishtati iti kutastam. Nityam vastu bubhutsamanaha. Wanting to know. Don't mispronounce it as bubhukshamanaha. Bubhukshamanaha, wanting to eat. Bhuksh means bhungshva, bhojana. But bubhutsamanaha comes from the root budh, to know. Wanting to know certain truth which is ever at peace, pruchati the samarthya upapadyate. That is the meaning. And now we come to the second mantra where the important line is. The power makes the ears hear. Therefore, in a manner of saying, Because without that power, this ear cannot hear. The ear cannot hear. Yesterday, a friend of mine and I went and met a man in Chennai somewhere. And that man received us with all joy. And then, without our asking, he said he was traveling. And then he and his wife were traveling in Europe. They were at a wonderful hotel in Paris. But one morning, when he woke up, he felt something was amiss. Something was missing. First, he didn't understand what was different in his world. Then he understood. He took a wristwatch or something and dropped it on the table. He did not hear even a bit of sound. He clapped. He did not hear any sound. He turned fan on. He shook the chair. He moved the table. Zero hearing. Then, of course, his loving wife, all of them gave him some treatment. Now, today he's okay. He spoke to us, he heard us, he treated us to some good tea and everything. It was wonderful. But he said, I went through this when these ears were not hearing. At the deepest level, it's not any surgery or not any phenomenal act, but it is above them all. When there is God's grace, the surgery works. Therefore, we say, Vaidyo Narayano Hari. The surgeons have to do whatever is in their hands. Everywhere, the phenomenal universe within itself has certain favorable factors. Those favorable factors generally, not necessarily, generally have to fall in place. God can make things work without those favorable factors also. Mukam karoti vachalam. Sri Krishna, in order to make a dumb person speak very eloquently, doesn't first ask some doctors and surgeons, you do your part, then I will finally. He doesn't need doctors or surgeons or anybody. And by one glance, he can make a dumb become an orator. Pangum langayate girim. He can make a lame person. Surgery, medicine, all of them have such serious limitations, but we, in our immaturity, depend more on medicines. Leave alone God. We don't depend on right living. Right living we neglect. We overeat or undereat. We do not exercise. I saw today a touching 4-minute video. I had tears in my eyes. Nothing new really when I narrate to you what I saw, that video. You have also seen such things, if not this video. This video also might have come to you. A young man, maybe a divorcee, is taking good care of his father. He has kept a 24-hour, very efficient, smiling, devoted young lady, paying herself probably high salary. But he's so much in his profession, he's always in a hurry. And his father is shown in the beginning of the video lying down, having no happiness on his face, having pain, cannot speak a word also properly. He makes some groaning sound. The son is about to go to office. Hearing that groaning sound comes like, Papa, what is it? What do you want? Oh, he makes some sounds. The son gets more restless. Papa, tell me what you want. I'll get anything for you. Then he shouts at that maid, get him whatever he wants. And he goes. Second day, third day. Finally, that girl, she really is a good girl, appointed employee, but gem of a person. She says to the son, Sir, Listen, sir, you are again and again asking me whatever my papa wants, I will pay, or I'll give you my credit card, go and buy it and get it for him, etc. Sir, it's not money, it's not credit card, it is not. Then what? What does he want? He asks. And the girl, young girl, says so nicely, your father wants some time of yours every day. Some time, sit by his side. I can also give him his tea. I can also feed him some liquid food. But if you do it, and unlike many other videos, here the son takes it seriously. And then they show. He is sitting every day sometime, feeds, gives breakfast, reads something for the father, sings something, and so on. And that's it. In the short video, over a few days, the father is able to sit up on the bed. Then the son has to go on a tour, 5 days or so, to some other part of the country. And on the day he had to travel, also, he gave some quality time to the father and hugged him on that patient's bed and then went. When he comes back, the last part of the video shows he's coming back after 5 days. The father is up and standing and he is putting some water to, I guess, the base of his tulsi plant, chanting some prayers. He's shocked. Papa, you are able to stand up. Papa, you are able to hold a vessel and pour water to the base of its tulsi plant. Papa, wow, this is wonderful, Papa. The father says, you made me recover by giving your time to me, not medicine, not money, and they have good time. The video is very effective. How more than surgery, more than medicine. These days we spend a lot of money on medical checkup and kidney check and this check and that check and cholesterol and blood glucose, creatinine. We we are ready for that. We spend money also, but we don't want to live rightly, nor do we want to give quality time to anybody. We fret and fume. We spoil their health also, we spoil our health also. But this is all within the phenomenal universe because showing love also is a form of within the phenomena. To speak kind words, words are within the phenomenal universe. Even feelings, though they get closer and closer to the divine. Love moves mountains, they say. But somewhere it snaps. It is no more the phenomenon, but it is noumenon. In English, there is a word, phenomenon and noumenon, Noumenon. The second part is same. Noumenon is, as Kenopanishad puts it, something which is beneath everything, but which is not literally tied, touching the ear of the ear, that which makes the ear hear, but itself is not involved in hearing. It's not another ear, miniature ear. Other day, where was it? In some city of Maharashtra. Somewhere a rich man has made his house a replica of Taj Mahal. Maybe 1/10 of the size or 1/5 of the size or so. But it looks just like Taj Mahal. And he lives there with his wife and family. It's not a grave of his wife. His wife also proudly stands next to him as he says, come and see my house, which is like Taj Mahal. So miniature Taj Mahal, miniature Jaipur Palace, or we are going to Dasara now. Miniature Dasara Mysore Palace. Mysore Palace and whole Mysore city is decorated these days, it being Dasara. So it's not a smaller ear, a replica of the outer ear, smaller. No, no, no. It is not a ear at all. But it is that power which makes the ears hear, which makes the eyes see, which makes the speech organ to speak, and you name it. Therefore, when Ramana Maharshi was asked, can you show God? He said, very simple, and he moved some fingers up like up and down. They said, what is this? This is God? He said, God is the power thanks to which the fingers move. And lastly, it is thus that Eknath Ishwaran, a very gifted writer and speaker and a man of great sattvic nature, wrote a book where he collected paragraphs from Gita and Dhammapada and the Bible and Tagore's poems and maybe some Sufi works or whatever from different mystical traditions of the world. He collected and he said, use these for your meditation. And the title of the book is God Makes the Rivers to Flow. That's how we choose a last piece from Shankara's commentary. Swavishaya Vyanjana Samarthyam Shrotrasya. The ear has an ability to Vyanjana, to express, to bring to our knowledge. Vyanjana Abhivyakt Karna, to express, to manifest. If we didn't have ears, we would not know that some sound, somebody is playing a flute. But our ears do Vyanjana, Vyakta, Prakata. So ears bring to expression their object, sound. Eyes bring to expression, bring to our knowledge their object, Svavishaya. What is their object? Color and form. Same way, lastly, the nose brings to our knowledge Vyanjana Samarthyam, various forms of smell. But Shankaracharya says all this Samarthya, see, third line has one word Sati. Sati means when there is. When there is pure consciousness, Atma Jyoti, the light of the pure self, which is Nitya, eternal, which is Asamhata, which is not put together by bringing a few components and assembling them, and which is Sarvantara, Chaitanya Sati, Atma Jyotishi Sati, Nitya Sati, Asamhate Sati, Sarvantare Sati. When that pure consciousness is, Sati means when it is. Shrotrasya श्रवणसामर्थ्यं भवति रूपस्य दर्शनसामर्थ्यं भवति वाचः भाषणसामर्थ्यं भवति सर्वेषाम् इन्द्रियाणां स्वस्वसामर्थ्यं तदा एव भवति यदा सर्वान्तरं ज्योतिः तत्र अस्ति चैतन्यम् अस्ति चैतन्ये सति इन्द्रियाणि स्वस्वविषय प्रकाशनसामर्थ्यं भजन्ते No asati. If the pure consciousness were not to be there, none of them would work. Therefore, Upanishads, in their own way, ask us, purify your mind. Then you will be able to make a quantum leap. You will no more be stationed. Others may not recognize, but you are no more identified with, stationed with, depending on, clinging to the personality. This body, mind, and the whole personality may stay for long or may drop dead tomorrow morning. I don't care. I am Satchit. I am existence awareness. Not just these words, but if it becomes your deep understanding, which can happen with proper Vedanta study, then you are free. Upanishads are the wisdom of freedom. They are the wisdom of liberation. Om Namah Paramarashibhyo. Namah Paramarashibhyaha.